Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Bree, and if you are new here, I am a writer, a reader, and a general nerd, and this is just kind of a new experience for me. I did post a video last week and you should go check that out, but my last week video was really about introducing myself as the author and reader, whereas this week I'm going to focus more on the books. So I am going to do the Booktube Newbie Tag, if you didn't know from the title. And I did try to do a little bit of research, and although I couldn't find the original video, I did see someone tag Brenda C as the creator of this tag. So I don't know if she's still up and running or if it's a different name, but that is what I found. So that's the information if you want it. So question number 1 is, why did you make this channel? And to be honest, it's really just an experiment. I don't really know what is going to come out of this. I just kind of wanted to give it a go because I am a writer and I love to talk about writing as well as talk about books. And I thought this channel would be a good way to interact with a lot of people who share similar emotions and feelings towards books and writing, because I also see a ton of people who do crossover from booktube into authortube, and that was just really inspiring to me. So I figured this can't hurt anything. I might as well just give it a shot. Question 2 are, what are some fun and unique things you could bring to booktube? And to be honest, I have nothing right now that is going to be unique and interesting and new to booktube. I admire the people who came before me, and I've always said, oh, this would be something that I really would love to do, or I love that person, and like if I was going to create a channel, I would want to do something similar to them. So really, the people before me are paving my way because I have been inspired to start this channel because of them. So at this point, I have no idea if I'm going to add anything new, but like I said on my last question, there's nothing can hurt coming out of this. And maybe along the way, I will find something that is unique or new, or just something that has a twist on a classic tag or a classic video that people have done. But yeah, as of now, I'm just gonna wing it. So here we are. Question number 3 is, what are you most excited about with this new channel? And it kind of goes with the question 1, but I really want to connect with people, and I want to be able to talk about the strengths and the struggles that I have as a writer, as well as, just my favorite things to look for in books and reading. I would love to do some vlogs of reading and writing, and, just kind of, like I said, have fun with it. I think this channel seems very open and welcoming, and I haven't really even been active as much as commenting. I'm kind of like that passive observer. So I think the most exciting part is going to actually be immersing myself into this whole realm of booktube and authortube. Question number 4 is, why do you love reading? And I would say probably escapism and being into worlds that are nothing like our own. I really like to, I've always had an active imagination. I've loved to watch fantasy movies as a kid growing up, and I was huge into Sailor Moon and the magicalness there, and Harry Potter, and I would always just, every time, like recess and playing outside, and I would always just be so imaginative. And as an adult, where you might not be as socially acceptable to go running around town with waving a wand, reading kind of gives you that portal. So I really just think the escapism part of it is truly why I love it. Question 5 is, what book or series got you into reading? And if you watched my last video, this is nothing new, but it was Harry Potter. I guess I'm just your basic millennial in that way. But I actually got into Harry Potter though, like book 3, right before the third book came out. My grandmother had bought me the first 2 books, and up until that point, I just never had interest in them. I would always, kind of look at books because the covers were pretty or it would sound cool, but I never really got into it. And then the one day, I decided to pick Harry Potter off my shelf, and I cannot tell you why. I was pretty young at that time, but I picked it up, and then from then it just swept me away. And then I had the second one in my possession, read that, and then I was coming around the third release, so I bought that one and then started going to midnight premieres, and then I got into everything else. So, you know, Harry Potter, it is what it is. Question 6 is, what questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? And this is hard. I do have quite a few favorite booktubers, and to be honest, I guess it would just really be, you know, how do you find the time for commitment, as well as kind of maintaining that passion for this. Because I think sometimes too, it's very daunting. I mean, starting this channel, I have talked about making this channel with one of my best friends too, of, you know, creating even a co-channel together. And it's been well over a year. Taking this plunge is super scary, and trying to maintain that routine is also frightening for me, especially because as I have kind of an untraditional job. I am a therapist, but I do in-home therapy. I drive often, and some days I am out from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Some days I have the morning completely free. Oh, excuse me. I have the morning completely free, and then my entire night is taken up from travel and sessions. So sometimes by the time I get to the weekend, I'm just so burnt out from thinking and therapying all week that I don't want to do anything. So I guess, you know, I know a lot of people in the booktube community also have day jobs and other things they do. So that, I guess that would be my general question, is how do you maintain a schedule? How do you maintain that passion? Question 7 is, what challenges do you think starting a booktube channel would be the hardest to overcome? This directly relates to my last question to answer, which is just maintaining that drive and that passion, and also probably, you know, the rejection piece of it. Now, I don't mean that as in people are going to be commenting nasty on my channel, but more of that I'm putting myself out there and no one might bite, no one might show interest. You know, I could just be swept under and just be like making these videos for myself. But at the same time, I do know my husband's already been very supportive of me with this, so that's awesome. And I really couldn't ask for more. And my friends in real life too, who I have slyly shared that I posted a video after the fact, not that I was going to do it, but after the fact, they've also been very supportive. So I hope that their support will also keep me going, and maybe other people will come. We'll just have to find out. Question 8, I think. I really should start numbering these questions because I forget a lot, but I think question 8 is, when did you start reading? And I also kind of answered this in my last video, but to sum it up, I started reading in about 5th grade. It was right after that time when I started getting into Harry Potter, and I started writing my own stuff, especially poetry. In 4th and 5th grade particularly is when we started having more reading time, that we would have like chapters assigned to us in class, and that we would also have more writing assignments. So I think all of that, like 4th and 5th grade, is really when it kind of kick-started my imagination and my love for reading and writing. Question 9 is, where do you read? And I read right here a lot. This is my kind of little personal library that I'm filming in. It was one of my dreams to own a home and be able to have a place where I can call my library. This is small, but it's super cozy, and it makes for a very wonderful place to read. I do have, right here in my background is a wonderful window seat bench that my husband actually built for me. And then off camera, I do have I think it's called a Papasan chair. It's super comfortable. I love to snuggle up. Sometimes my dog will join me down here, and we just have a good time. I also have a lot of ambience. I like to put my fairy lights on. I like to put my candles lit, and we just, well, I say we, it's really just me. Sometimes, I don't know, maybe my dog does enjoy it, but I just like to sit down here and kind of escape, as I mentioned before. I also read on my couch a lot of the time. Sometimes my husband will play video games, and I'll just sit on the couch and read while he's doing that. And I also like to read a little bit before bed, so I usually have a book on my bedside table. I don't actually have a bedside table, but I keep one in the room so that I can read before bed. So those are the main places, but this is my favorite place because this is what I created for myself. And the last question is, what kind of books do you like to read? And I think this pretty much goes hand in hand with the books that I like to write. but I will give myself a lot more openness to the ones I like to read. Fantasy is number one for me. I just love being in worlds, like I said earlier, that just kind of transport you to something that's not like this place. Nothing wrong with Earth, but I mean, having magic and these beautiful places, you know, you can only dream about, or even like outer space stuff, so much cooler sometimes, right? But I also love contemporary. I love mystery. I'm actually getting into more lit fiction and women's fiction, which I found quite a few that I've really enjoyed. I've also been doing a little bit more of the nonfiction audiobooks, but I really wouldn't say that I love to read those ones. Sometimes I find ones that end up being really good, and every now and then I like to listen to them. But I have found out that those are only listened to. I've tried to read self-help books and those types of things, and I just can't physically read them. I have to be listening. And otherwise, I mean, really, dystopian, I do like. I mean, I'm open. I'm an open book. All right, that was really corny, but that was the Booktube Newbie Tag. I hope that you guys enjoyed this one, and I guess we'll just have to wait to see what else comes about, and hopefully you'll stick around for that. So thanks so much. See you next time.